Hi! Welcome back, you lovely people. Now, not long ago, I made a video talking about a few sunset weapons that are no longer obtainable and really how well they performed in Crucible, and I've since had a lot of requests for more of those videos after an amazing reception to it. Over 2,000 likes in no time. So thank you all so much for that and for the wonderful feedback. It genuinely means a tremendous amount to me and truly does make my day. So with that in mind, I've got another edition of this for your faces. 3 more Forgotten Destiny 2 PvP weapons Forge Edition. Man, that's an awkward title. Anyway, I've always been a hoarder of weapons, so it's only fitting I have a plethora of sunset weapons of yesteryear. But that's ended up being pretty useful for me, as I can now easily make this video using those dust-collected weapons. Yay! God, I am hopeless. But first, real quick, the last video I made on sunset weapons, I was lucky enough to have it sponsored by Filmora, the editing software. Well, they've kindly reached out again and sponsored this video as well, and this time it's featuring their new app on mobile devices, FilmoraGo, available to download on Android and iOS. Yep, you can now edit your own videos and movies on your own phone. I don't even, with technology nowadays. Anyway, whether it's a simple video you want done or more complex editing including smooth transitions, video filters, sleek video effects, and also including their new cool sticker feature, which looks amazing and it's just so easy to apply. Literally, it's all here for you, incredibly useful and easy to use. So start editing and download it right now using the links in the description. And just for you guys, if you want to win a full month of a pro license which has even more features, simply leave a comment talking about FilmoraGo and they'll be choosing 3 of you to win. Easy as that. The first weapon I want to talk about and show you guys comes from the Days of Forges. Now, I'm fully aware a good amount of you didn't play during this time, so to get you up to speed, Lost Forges was a PvE game mode released with the Black Armory DLC in 2018, in which you would be thrown into this fairly small area consisting of 3 waves of enemies, and you had to kill these glowy blue enemies, take the ball they drop, and throw them into the middle forge to progress. And hopefully not miss, because wow does it suck when you throw one right off the map. If you're about to comment saying you never did, you're lying. Shut up. And at the end of the activity, under the forge in the center would be a small chance to drop legendary weapons. Some weapons would only drop if you complete a specific bounty, but there were a handful of weapons that dropped with no bounty at all, just a random chance at the end of this activity, which were essentially pre-existing weapons but were forged modifications to them. For example, with the weapon I'm showcasing today, the Macleod 42 XN7568. Yeah. Fancy numbers and letters. I mean, it's a Macleod 42 as shown here, a 600 RPM auto rifle, but of course, like I said, forge modified, given the chance for the weapon to have random rolls on it, which at the time, if you remember, random rolls on weapons had only become a thing again in Destiny 2 a few months before. So this is not a pure forge weapon like the Kindled ORCHID hand cannon or the Blast Furnace pulse rifle, but still something that had somewhat significance, as you could get random rolls on these modified weapons of these existing weapons that were in their own static roll, which at the time was pretty cool. The roll I have here is Outlaw paired with Kill Clip, the classic combo of, oh god, I'm reloading after every kill, aren't I? And this is no exception for me. As you'll see from the clips I've gotten over the past couple of days, I reload far too much after a kill, and really should let Kill Clip go for a little bit longer, or at least give it a bit more space between a kill and a reload. It's much harder than it looks to snap out of it suddenly, and I have no idea why. Anyway, as you can see, this thing slaps, as people say nowadays. Once Kill Clip is active, it's pretty much game over in most gunfights. Now, usually there's a disclaimer from me here that you'll probably lose most fights if it's against meta stuff, your Ace of Spades, people with a decent 140 RPM hand cannon shot, but it's much more effective with the recent nerfs being here now, and I had a lot of fun mowing people's faces with this auto rifle again. I think 600 RPM auto rifles will have a decent spot in any meta the game ends up in. The pure fire rate and then any sort of damage buff. You love to see it. And speaking of damage buffs, I am now obsessed with these Titan exotic boots, the Path of the Burning Steps. Any solar kill gives a damage buff, so I was running around with an auto rifle that had Kill Clip and Rampage all in one. Because do you know what element this auto rifle is? You're damn right, it's solar.
It works so well.
Why do I sound like a wizard? I will say though, you do have to get 2 kills to proc it, but if you're ready to take on people from a decent angle, this isn't really too unrealistic to activate in most matches. Wasn't for me anyway. I'm not that good at Crucible. This is, remember, this is highlights. I am looking forward to seeing some sort of Forge returning to the game. Some of these weapons were so underlooked. Maybe not this one, because I remember this one being in full swing in meta. I made a video about this very auto rifle almost 2 years ago, for good reason. I still run this auto rifle in my normal quick play loadout, as opposed to where else, self. But yeah, it's just too damn fun. Especially paired with a shotgun to deal with those close range encounters, the perfect companion to a beautiful auto rifle. By all means, a yes out of 10. All of my yes. It is a bit annoying to show off a weapon and then not being able to say, and this is how you can get one yourself. But I'm glad I kept it to at least show you guys what will hopefully make a return sometime in the future? Question mark? Upside down question mark? Una mesa para cuatro, por favor? But this has been the mini review of the Macleod 42 and half a dozen numbers. Next weapon. I hit my desk again. I'm sorry, desk. This weapon is probably one of the most popular weapons of the lot. The Kindled Orchid, the 140 RPM hand cannon that dropped, as mentioned before, by completing a bounty, and then at the end of your forge, your deformed blob of an engram will drop. The role I have to show today is the curated role version. Rampage and kill clip. Bow wow bow. I've been really trying. I can't put the song in, it's copyright. What a banger of a weapon, dude. That wasn't necessary. I'm sorry. This beautiful object was sought after by every PvP main that was playing at the time, as you can imagine, and even to this day if you've kept one, as 140 RPM hand cannons are in such a sweet spot right now, and indeed, this is a 140. Getting gameplay with it was another story. It may look like I'm doing fine in some of these clips, but oh my god, I'm not made to hold a hand cannon and shoot it straight. My drag scoping days on Call of Duty for some reason make me absolutely whiff shots I should absolutely be hitting. Thanks montage clips, you are really worth it. It also has drop mag if you didn't notice, so it took me an unnecessary amount of time to time my reloads and not just get 1 kill in 3 bullets, reload for kill clip, and realise I've wasted about 43 bullets and my soul itself for reloading so bloody early. I did get the hang of it though, eventually. I also absolutely could have ran a sniper rifle while running this hand cannon, but shotgunning is taking over my brain and I can't stop. In the right hands, I really feel this would obliterate lobbies nowadays. Certainly not in my hands. The crispy 2 and 3 taps, the kill clip and rampage working together to upset people's faces via damage? I need this cannon back, Bungie. Did I just say cannon? Oh my fuck. I found myself competing in most gunfights, although I feel like that's kind of thanks to the 120 nerf and 140s being so prominent right now. I must say it is nice to feel like I'm doing good with hand cannons for a change. I've got a question for you guys, by the way. How many of you guys still have a Kindled Orchid stashed away in your vault? Doesn't have to be the curated role either, just any role. I'd like to know from a person who has like 10,000 kills with this thing, if it was as busted and broken as people said it was in its heyday, or was it just overhyped due to the double damage perks? Regardless though, it bangs in the current meta and it feels really solid. And again, I want to say, and here's how you can get it. You bloody can't, and I'm sad about it. Why do you care so much about some old weapons, lol? Just wait till there's new content and stop holding on to outdated junk. Listen, Ralph from West Canada, shut your face. Who the hell says West Canada? Well, this review is quickly going out of the window. It's a good hand cannon. An official yes out of 10 from me. And onto the final weapon of the triple threat of vaulted weapons coming from the Forge, the Tango 45, XK5094. Now, aside from sounding like a receipt number, this is a scout rifle of beauty, and of course, Forge edition, of the existing Tango 45 as shown here. Like with the Macleod, you can get round and rolls on this. Now, I have made a video about this scout rifle before, and it was a banger then, and it still is now. The roll I kept has Rampage, High Impact Reserves, and Alloy Magazine. If you know scout rifles, you already know this roll is ridiculous. Rampage for increased damage, and then High Impact Reserves for even more damage on those last bullets, and you know what? It's solar. So you can use a certain exotic leg armor that gives your weapon even more. Okay, for this one, I did not use that. This is a precision frame scout rifle, so a 180 RPM. I personally prefer the heavy hitters, but I'll happily take this one, especially with this perk pairing. So a few things. Firstly, the current Crucible maps in rotation make using scout rifles, let's just say very unenjoyable. I'll put it that way. The day, if ever, they bring back huge maps or at least some more open maps to allow for scout rifles to have more headspace, I will be incredibly happy. It really does rely on picking people off who either don't see you or playing in a very sit-back sort of style, which thankfully I'm quite used to thanks to Destiny 1 and the Mida multi-tool eternally being stuck in my brain. Don't judge me, you did it too. And again, pair it with a kinetic shotty and oh boy, this thing can annoy people. It's honestly funny that you could just tell some people were puzzled at what the hell is even shooting at them in some of these clips. The 4 taps and occasional 3 taps are worth every outgunned moment and shatter dive death. What a godly piece of Forge machinery that has bestowed upon me. I'd love to see the Forge variants of existing weapons again, or you know, new weapons. Genuinely unique in design and perks, so with present day perks, there could be all sorts of ideas and combinations with this sort of style. Anyway, enough of that rabbit hole. In Crucible, I found within about 400 kills, it's a very simple and plain scout rifle, a smart red dot sight to string some kills together in a medium to long range setting, stacking up those buffs and taking people by surprise. As you can imagine, even if you're the first to get your shot off, you're probably still dying to most weapons. But the damage perks, it surprised me with how effective it was actually being in matches. Holding down areas and holding people off of flags, very effective. I guess you could argue every scout rifle does that though. Honestly though, picking people off from afar and going on some pretty decent streaks, topping a decent amount of lobbies and getting used to playing from distance, I truly do feel that there's some sort of science behind that that makes you a better player. Just patience and pacing and not running into a place aping with some fusion rifle. Not that I ever do that, right? There's not really a whole ton to write home about the scout rifle, but that's one of its best features. It's a scout rifle with some chonky damage perks on it. It's still good, just not as effective in this particular map rotation right now. Still deserves a yes out of 10 though. So there we have it, 3 forgotten sunset weapons from the Forge. I do hope this was a fun little throwback for some of you guys, and maybe something new learned for you newer players. Learned is a strong word. I hope you enjoyed at least. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do leave a like if you did enjoy, sub if you're new, and as always, take care.